Well, today I'm showing you my new Southern Pineapple Icebox Cake. Pink Impossible asked me for one, and so I came up with this. Ingredients you'll need. I've listed all the ingredients here, hopefully to make your life easier. Now off the heat, I'm using a cold large saucepan, and I'm adding 2 1/4 cups of whole milk to this large saucepan. I'm making my grandma's vanilla pudding, and I'm going to turn it into a pineapple pudding because Pink Impossible asked me for a recipe, and my mama couldn't remember my grandma ever making a pineapple one. But I said, I can do this. I have enough baking skills. Next, we're going to add 2 egg yolks to the saucepan that has milk in it. I always use my hands. It's just easier. And then I'm adding a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar and an 1/8 of a teaspoon of kosher salt and a 1/4 cup of cornstarch. And I'm going to mix everything really well together off the heat. I want to make sure everything's fully incorporated. It just takes a moment. And next I'm going to put it on the hob over a medium-high flame. And I'm going to continually stir it. This is not the time to answer the phone or the door or anything. Stick with it. It will come together very quickly. Keep mixing. And then all of a sudden you'll notice, oh, wait a second. It's thickening and I'm going to have to take it off. And you take it off. And you're going to let it rest off the heat for 20 minutes. And you're going to add 1 tablespoon of butter and you're going to mix it in. It will melt, fully incorporating. And then you're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1 teaspoon of pineapple emulsion, which is basically an extract. It's a baking extract. And you've made pineapple pudding. And I'm going to put it into a storage container. I'm going to cool it overnight. And now it's the next day. I brought it out. I'm going to put it into a mixing bowl. And you'll see it's very firm. And then I'm going to add 1 cup of crushed pineapple with the juice. I'm going to mix everything really well together. I want to incorporate the pudding and the pineapple together so it's kind of smooth. It takes a moment though. You can also put it into the stand mixer, but I only have 1 bowl and I've got to make whipped cream, so I decided against that. And now I'm going to make the whipped cream. I'm measuring out 2 cups of heavy whipping cream, and I'm going to put it into the stand mixing bowl, and I'm going to whip it on high, and I'm also going to add 3 tablespoons of sugar. Now we're going to look for a soft peak, not a hard peak. This was recipe development that I realized that the hard peak would be too hard to spread. So there's your 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar. This doesn't have a lot of sugar in it. It doesn't have a lot of sugar in it. You don't have to use the sugar if you don't want to, but I do think it's nice to have just a little taste of sweetness in your whipped cream. So I've whipped it to a soft peak, and now it's time for assembly, which is very simple. The whole dish is very simple, I think. We're going to put together, put a layer of the vanilla wafers, and I put it on the bottom. Then I do a thin layer of the pineapple pudding that we made. And remember, it does have pieces of pineapple in there, the crushed pineapple. And then after I smoothed it out, I'm going to put a thin layer of the soft whipped cream. And again, you do want it to be a soft whipped peak. You don't want it to be hard, because otherwise it's going to be very hard to spread out. And I did use elements of things that my grandma would do, like with her. This is her vanilla pudding that I just added pineapple to it, pineapple extract. And by the way, we're going to repeat all the layers 4 times. You could do more, I believe, if you made the pudding thinner, layers of pudding thinner. You could probably do 1 more layer. But I got 4 layers, I believe, out of this. So just keep doing it. You'll see. I keep telling you. Another layer. But this was Pink Impossible, who asked for a pineapple icebox cake. And my mama can remember one, but Grandma probably had one, but I don't have a reference for it. So I just used elements from things that I know that my grandma did make. You know, pudding. I knew that I could make whipped cream. I knew I could add pineapple to this, and I could add pineapple extract, and I could make it a pineapple pudding because I already know how to make a vanilla pudding. And since vanilla comes from the orchid, it has floral notes. It would go really nice with pineapple. And so I think this is the final layer right here. Or maybe it's not. Maybe there's one more layer. We'll see. No, I think it's one more layer after this. So it's just continually layering it up. Just takes a moment. And I had to make this 3 times because the first time I only used 2 layers of course, vanilla wafers, and I realized I needed 4. And then I also realized the whipped cream was too stiff. And the second time I made it, the cat jumped on the table and was sniffing in the bowl and licking the whipped cream, and I had to go start from scratch, and I was almost there. I was so angry. And this is the final layer. So now we're going to come back and just put the final layer of pudding on, and then we'll do whipped cream. I turned my back. I was doing the draining the last part of the can of the pineapple, and she got up there, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so mad. It wasn't that hard to make the pudding and everything again. It was just more annoying that I had to do it all over again. So I had to make it 3 times, but that's all right. And so now I've drained the other half of the can of pineapple. I'm wringing it out, making sure I got all the fluid out, or all the juice out of the pineapple, so it's very dry, and I can just decorate it with it on top of the pineapple icebox cake. It is very creamy, and it has actually refreshing. It's not too heavy at all. That's what I like about it. And you're not cooking except for the pudding, and that's it. And I guess you could even use a store-bought pudding if you wanted to. But I like things done homemade. I think it just tastes better. And this is what it looks like. It's absolutely delicious. Thank you, Pink Impossible, for this suggestion. To help our channel grow, we're asking everybody to please like, subscribe, and comment. If you're enjoying our content, we really hope that you are. Please consider becoming a subscriber. It doesn't cost you anything, but it does help us out tremendously. We also ask that you please also watch the video from beginning to end. This also helps out. It's all because of how the YouTube algorithm works. Otherwise, we do stay hidden, and we really want to grow. All right, thank you so much for helping us out, and we'll see you soon. We post new videos 3 times a week, on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and on Sundays at 10 a.m. If you're not already a subscriber, please consider becoming one. It doesn't cost you anything, but it does help us out tremendously. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss one of our videos. All right, we'll see y'all real soon. We wanted to profoundly thank everyone for watching, and we're very grateful to all of our new and old subscribers for helping us grow. We couldn't do it without you, so thank you. We wanted to talk about something a little bit more political. I'm not a political person, but I am very angry about this. We all know we had horrific wildfires in Southern California. We had Hurricanes Milton and Helena that have destroyed lives and communities, affecting so many. And now we've had tornadoes, we've had flooding. Where I live in Central Virginia, we've had 9 inches of rain in just 2 days. Luckily, where we're at, we're on higher ground, so we're safer, but people on lower ground are not so safe. And a lot of people, these communities, have a very long road to recovery. Now, the reason why I'm saying it's political is because of what happened with FEMA. FEMA has been gutted by DOJ. They don't have the staff. They don't have the funding anymore. For some reason, FEMA has not been able to help people immediately. In fact, calls have gone unanswered for days. And these are flood victims in Texas. I know states have been denied FEMA. These are places where natural disasters have actually already happened. Like they pulled back the money from Hurricane Helene in North Carolina. Those people, people didn't get the help they needed, and they're not getting the help they need now. I think it was Louisiana had some problems, Arkansas had some problems, Tennessee. It's across the board, and we pay taxes into FEMA. So when there's a natural disaster in our state or another city, our neighbors, us, we're able to rebuild. Now there's this thinking, I understand the president wants to end FEMA at the end of hurricane season. I've never heard anything so, I'm sorry, misguided. You're not going to save money this way. It's going to cost us money. And I really tell you why it's going to cost us money. Because when people's homes are destroyed or their businesses, they're not paying federal taxes. They can't because they're not making any money. And the states aren't taking any money. So how are you ever going to rebuild these areas? We pay into FEMA to help us in times like this when communities have things going on. Same principle of Social Security or Medicare. That's the same principle. So I encourage you to contact the president and let him know that you want FEMA to continue, that you want all these cuts that DOJ made to be restored, and you want this micromanaging that's been happening on Kristi Noem's part. Apparently she won't let anything over $100,000 be paid out immediately. Now, that's really micromanaging. Usually these things go into the millions very fast. That's how FEMA works. You know, there is no waste, there is no fraud there. I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it right now. I don't believe it. I think you're trying to do cost cutting, by, cutting off your nose to spite your face, so to speak. And how many children died because of the microwave satellites, and because people weren't in those positions to alert people that something was going on? There was a lot of things that happened. But 26 children died, I will remind people. That is not acceptable. That is not acceptable. And I'm going to raise my voice. It's not what we voted for. We need to contact our senators and congressmen and let them know they need to restore that funding immediately. Because I live in Central Virginia, as I think I mentioned, 9 inches of rain in 2 days. We're on higher ground. We're not going to be affected. But the people on the lower ground are definitely getting affected. So it's not just here in Virginia. It's all up and down the eastern seaboard. So, yeah. All right, I'm getting off my political thing. I feel like I'm becoming a political person because I'm constantly going on about FEMA, but I can't believe that anybody would not see how important it is. FEMA is. It's a wonderful thing, and I'm so glad that it was created. Anyways, all right. As always, everyone, please stay safe and be blessed.